to manage bear populations and protect crops, farmers in the West often rely on legally regulated black bear hunting. These hunts can last anywhere from 5 to 12 days, requiring intense focus. Equipped with high-caliber rifles, hunters aim to take down 400-pound bears from distances of 60 to 90 yards, which is no easy feat. Every year between 1,000 and 1,800 permits are issued, depending on the bear population and environmental factors. Spring and fall are the most critical seasons, as bears are actively foraging or waking up from hibernation. However, bear hunting is never easy. Hunters face cliffs, dense forests and difficult terrain, often moving at a slow pace of 0.5 miles per hour to avoid detection. Bears are highly intelligent and hunters must rely on signs like scat and claw marks to track them, but the pursuit is never straightforward. Weather adds another layer of difficulty. Rain or snow can obscure tracks, turning what is already a challenging task into a long and exhausting chase. In black bear hunting, technology plays a vital role in tracking and safety, but at the heart of it all is the power of the large caliber rifle that makes the difference. The pressure to hit the target is intense, as bears can be unpredictable and dangerous if startled. With rifles capable of shooting from 50 to 80 yards, one wrong move can turn the hunter into the hunted. The stakes are high, so a bear hunting trip requires a hunter to be fully equipped, or it will be a waste of money. You have the choice to hunt recklessly or play by the rules. When bear hunting, the right tools can make all the difference. Modern technology like GPS-enabled tracking devices is essential to pinpointing bears and increasing safety. Hunters rely on these devices to keep track, ensuring they are not caught off guard. In some areas, hunters work in teams of 2 to 5, using a combination of high-tech gadgets and teamwork to navigate difficult terrain. Success can be increased by up to 60% through careful planning, tracking, and communication. Additionally, the right equipment, like noise-cancelling headphones, which allow hunters to hear animal movements and protect their hearing from gunfire, can reduce the risk of injury by up to 95%. For farmers, humane measures like solar-powered electric fences offer a solution to keeping bears out without causing harm. These fences, which transmit 5,000 to 10,000 volts of electricity, are effective in blocking 95% of bear intrusions, ensuring both crop protection and wildlife safety. Have you ever faced the challenge of tracking an animal in harsh conditions? Your experience will help the American people a lot. Even with effective hunting techniques, the growing bear population is severely impacting the livelihoods of farmers. Around 30,000 crop damage incidents are reported annually. In the eastern US, for example, 50 acres of corn were ruined in 72 hours, costing $60,000, 0 cents. Weighing up to 400 pounds, black bears break corn stalks easily, creating large damage patterns visible from above. Families of bears, often with cubs, further amplify the damage and pose safety risks to rural communities. Environmental factors including changing weather patterns and food shortages in natural habitats have pushed bears to forage on farmlands more frequently. On highways like Texas's I-10, wild boars barrel into cars and trucks night after night, leaving behind mangled vehicles and shaken drivers. In 2024, these crashes racked up over $100 million. 0 cents in damages and caused hundreds of injuries across the US per the Insurance Institute for Highway Safety.
Dog bitch.
Over 9 million wild boars, each weighing up to 200 pounds, roam 39 states, fueling thousands of collisions that shatter windshields and, in worst cases, cause catastrophic wrecks, according to USDA data. Rural drivers, especially on roads like Georgia's Route 27, live in constant fear of these unpredictable beasts. With shooting restricted near highways for safety reasons, experts are deploying drones, AI tracking, and smart traps to curb this growing threat. This is the critical fight to protect America's drivers and highways from a relentless wild boar invasion.
Dog bitch.
With wild boar collisions wreaking havoc on highways, ground hunting near roads is too dangerous and restricted by state laws, pushing hunters to take to the skies. Helicopters manned by licensed sharpshooters sweep over vast rural areas, targeting boars in open fields and brush where they threaten traffic. Equipped with high-powered rifles, these aerial teams can cover 10,000 acres in a day, reducing boar populations by up to 70%, according to Texas A&M studies. This high-stakes method, approved under strict USDA guidelines, is a critical weapon to curb the boar invasion and keep America's drivers safe. At a command center in Alabama, the fight gets high-tech. A drone's thermal camera scans a swamp, picking up heat signatures of a boar herd hidden in thick brush. "We've got eyes on them," a technician says, voice tense as the screen lights up with red dots. This is wild boar hunting in the 21st century. Drones like the DJI Matrice with FLIR cameras cover 1,000 acres in hours, spotting boars no human could track. AI analyzes the footage, mapping their movements and predicting their next targets. The data is precise, studies show. AI-driven tracking boosts capture rates by 60%. Every second counts, and the team is locked in, ready to move.
Get it right there. Wind's blowing out.
On the ground, the action is intense. Using drone coordinates, a crew sets up steel cage smart traps with IoT sensors that send alerts when a wild boar is caught. One trap snaps, capturing 4 wild boars, their squeals echoing through the night. "That was a good catch," says a volunteer, checking his phone for the sensor pings. Research from Texas A&M suggests these combined tactics can cut local wild boar populations by up to 70%, saving farms and habitat. Hunters move quickly, knowing that every boar intercepted is a win for the land. After trapping the wild boars, hunters transport the captured animals to USDA licensed processing facilities to ensure food safety. The meat is rigorously inspected for diseases like African swine fever, with samples tested at accredited laboratories. If determined safe, the meat is clean, cut and packaged in facilities that meet FDA sanitation standards, maintaining temperatures below 40 DFG to prevent bacterial growth. Some facilities distribute the meat to food banks or, you guessed it, to needy people in Africa. Wild boars that do not meet safety standards are euthanized in approved incinerators to prevent the spread of disease. For decades, from 1980 to 2023, coyotes and bobcats have ravaged farms across the United States, their predatory instincts pushing them ever closer to human settlements. Coyotes are notorious for their bold attacks on goats in broad daylight, caught on camera sneaking out of the woods into grazing pastures. Their sense of smell and hearing can track prey up to 15 miles away, leading them straight to vulnerable livestock. Free off bobcats. Meanwhile, stealthily and precisely target poultry in the dark, with states like Texas and Georgia reporting major losses. Together, these invasive species have caused nearly $500 million in damage each year, threatening not only livestock, but entire suburban economies. In the wake of the 2020 crisis, wildlife officials credited gun hunting with helping control the coyote population by taking down more than 500 animals each year, saving North American farmers and ranchers nearly $1 billion in livestock losses. These night hunts also reduce the disruption to people's activities during the day. However, hunters must obtain a special night hunting permit and comply with local wildlife regulations. The physical demands are high, with hunters needing great stamina and sharp reflexes to endure the long winter nights from November to February, when coyotes are most active. Night hunters rely heavily on infrared binoculars and searchlights to illuminate the darkness without alerting coyotes. These tools provide a significant advantage by revealing the animal's movements while maintaining stealth. Armed with weapons such as an AR-15 equipped with a thermal scope capable of detecting targets at distances of up to 1,000 yards, hunters have a tactical advantage. Despite advanced equipment, working in teams of 3 or more is still necessary. They must coordinate their movements and remain alert to avoid detection.
Yep. Do it.
Failure to follow these safety protocols can result in a hunter being caught unawares, as coyotes are quick to sense and react to threats. Always follow strict guidelines to ensure your safety. When coyote hunting, camouflage with a broken pattern will be an advantage. Coyotes have difficulty recognizing dark tones like grey. However, camouflage must also be able to insulate in temperatures below 20 DGF to ensure hunters stay warm during long, cold nights.
Missed.
Only experienced hunters with more than 5 years of predator hunting experience are eligible to participate in these challenging hunts. They must be familiar with the hunting area laws, which only allow coyote hunting in designated areas in North America.
Whoa.
Violating these boundaries will result in fines and revocation of hunting licenses. Do you realize how important the smallest details are in a hunt? Comment below with your thoughts. Coyote hunting comes with strict regulations if you understand these to become a hunter. Hunters must avoid targeting pregnant females or young coyotes that are not yet fully grown.
Hey.
This ensures population control without destabilizing the ecosystem. Have you ever considered using bait during night hunts? While effective, the use of closely monitored bait will help attract coyotes and help hunters aim accurately. The US Fish and Wildlife Service regulates these methods with an estimated 1-200 zero hunters certified annually under ethical hunting standards. Although bobcat hunting is similar to other night hunts, hunters who hunt bobcats in North America must be 18 years of age or older with no criminal record. Before hunting, participants undergo night hunting training that focuses on tracking techniques, so their vision must be 20/20 at all times. Bobcat hunting varies from year to year, so hunters must always keep a close eye on the correct hunting sites in the United States. Bearleg overhunting disrupts the balance of invasive species that threaten local ecosystems. Hunting is not just about the thrill of the chase, it is also about responsibility. Every time a hunter goes hunting, they are not only preserving their way of life, but also the environment. They are managing the populations of invasive species that would otherwise devastate the local ecosystem. Every decision, every shot must be controlled and balanced in a world that is constantly changing. You choose to act now and hunt to control the predator population, or let them continue to destroy the livestock industry. It's a tough decision, but don't wait until the damage escalates to take action. Comment your choice. Great content is waiting for you in the next video, don't miss it. Sounds hard to believe, right? In Brazil, farmers are digging war-style trenches just to stop wild boars. In just one night, these invasive species can flatten an entire field, moving in swarms and destroying everything in their path. No fences, no electricity, just a deep ditch. And here's the kicker, it worked. In many rural parts of Brazil, wild boars are a relentless nightmare. They don't just ruin crops, they crush corn, uproot cassava, topple sugarcane, attack livestock, and even spread disease. A single night can cost farmers $2,000 0 cents to $10,000. They're fed up with watching their hard work get obliterated time and again. So they took a different approach. Forget electric fences, traps, or chemicals. They're digging deep, wide ditches around their fields. The idea is deceptively simple. When boars charge in, they hit a barrier they can't cross. They can't jump over or climb up, so they fall in. And once they're down there, getting out is no small feat. At first, people thought these ditches were extreme, but the results, boars either get stuck or give up. They're completely blocked. Who would have thought such a basic solution could be so smart and effective? These ditches are no joke. In some places, they're so deep and wide they look like military fortifications. For farmers, it's the most practical way to save a season's worth of grueling work. Wild boars aren't just a nuisance, they're a major threat. They move in packs, destroying with eerie coordination. One night can wipe out months of effort. Worse still, they carry the risk of spreading disease. In southern and southeastern Brazil, a single night can rack up thousands in damages. Tired of cleaning up the aftermath, farmers decided to act from the start. That's when these ditches started popping up. The ditches are typically 3 to 5 feet deep and over 1 meter wide, with steep slopes that make climbing out nearly impossible. For large fields, building them is a real challenge. Many farmers dug miles of ditches around their land. It's no easy task, but the payoff is clear. Boars can't get in. Some farmers worry, though, if ditches become common, will boars learn to avoid them? Or will they just move to areas without ditches? The biggest advantage? No electricity, no fences, no poison, no constant monitoring, no risk of tampering. These ditches stand quietly, doing their job like a natural, rock-solid barrier. they're nearly impossible to breach. They work silently, causing no panic for other animals. No smells, no electricity, no chemicals. Almost perfect, right? But nothing comes free. Digging ditches requires heavy machinery, skilled labour, fuel, and loads of time. The costs don't end with digging. In heavy rain areas, soil erodes easily, and ditches can fill with mud, turning into stagnant pools or clogged channels. A defence structure can become a muddy mess if not maintained properly. That's why a solid drainage system with flow channels and retaining walls is critical to keep ditches functional year-round, especially during rainy seasons. Safety is another big concern. Without clear markings, ditches can become dangerous traps for machinery or workers. In some US states, they use helicopters to take down herds of wild boars from the air. But those methods are expensive and can damage the environment. That's where Brazil's ditch digging strategy stands out as an effective, low-cost and environmentally friendly solution. In Sao Paulo, where herds of wild boars once numbered as many as 200, fields can be destroyed overnight. That's why more and more farmers are taking the initiative, turning ditches into protective walls on modern farms. That's why Brazil's ditch strategy is seen as one of the few cost-effective, efficient and sustainable ways to tackle wild boars. When you see fields surrounded by war-like trenches, don't laugh. That's the work of farmers fighting to protect their crops, their land and their future. Electric eels and catfish can discharge up to 600 volts of electricity, stronger than an electric fence, and even stun crocodiles. Living in the Amazon and African rivers, they threaten Komodo dragons and crocodiles. But rest assured, your local swimming spots are safe from these electric underwater predators. Birds perch high on power lines in open areas of the United States and Asia, attracted to safe viewing positions. Faulty insulators cause power outages. Power companies should conduct monthly inspections and install sound dampening devices to protect wildlife and communities. Time will tell whether this is optimal. A moose had a lucky escape from an electric fence in her yard. A stressful situation, but are others as lucky? Warning signs don't help animals. Build an 8-foot high insulated fence to keep animals out of your vegetable garden. An 8,000 to 14,000 pound elephant can easily overwhelm an electric fence with 4,500 to 7,000 volts, which is common in Kenya and Sri Lanka, where they are unstoppable. Poorly constructed fences cost millions of dollars in crop failures. Use a beehive fence if you see fit. Comment 1. Black bears collapse beneath high voltage lines, lured by hunger and betrayed by neglected infrastructure. Alarming videos expose a harsh reality. Wildlife suffers from our oversights. Each loss signals danger to us all. What are you doing to shield your land from this growing threat? Not only that, a leaky electric fence at the Beijing Zoo can shock tigers, slowing their growth by up to 20% per shock. These incidents cause stress and aggression, threatening animal welfare. Zoos must insulate wires, raise fences, and monitor systems to protect tigers and ensure the safety of visitors. Snakes slither up high voltage lines, hunting birds and triggering outages that plunge homes into darkness. From Asia to America, these stealthy climbers disrupt lives, trim trees, install guards, act now to safeguard wildlife communities. Raccoons are ravaging farms, causing thousands of dollars in damage. Many people wonder why farmers are using electric fences to keep them out, but the cost of this destruction is such that there is no other option. Subscribe and share your thoughts in the comments below. Together, let's make a difference in the next episodes.
These approaches have been great at stopping the spread of some invasive species. Got any ideas for even better solutions? Drop your thoughts in the comments so we can all dive into it together. Thanks for sticking around and watching the whole video. If you liked it, don't forget to like, share, and subscribe to the channel. And hey, be sure to tell your friends about us too so they can check it out. Bye and see you in the next video.